Now, on the point of inflation, food prices are rising and there's concern of a shortage. Now, you've written an article on the Epoch Times. You say, besides the Ukraine war, a possible reason for a food crisis is government intervention. Now, this is interesting to me. Can you explain to us why that is?
Well, think about this. Even before the Ukraine war or the pandemic, the agricultural sector in developed economies has been suffering from elevated taxes, increased environmental and regulatory burdens that have made it uneconomical to produce grain in numerous developed economies, particularly in the European Union. So now the problem is that many of those farms and many of those crops around the world simply cannot come back to the market and reduce the risk created by the Ukraine invasion because it is uneconomical for them, even with the elevated wheat, barley and other cereal prices. No?
Now, on this point of being uneconomical, can you give an example of a government policy that's led to this?
Oh, let's think about, for example, the increase in fuel taxes, the increase in CO2 taxes in the European Union, the increase in the cost of labor coming from higher labor taxes in the European Union. So a lot of small things that have been added over and over. But if we think about figures from 2018, German, French, Spanish crops were loss-making even before the pandemic.
I'm curious, just for a contrast, how does the US and Europe compare in terms of government intervention?
The US is a lot less than Europe. In the US, labor costs are much lower than in the European Union. The US does not have CO2 as a tax. In the United States right now, everybody's extremely concerned about $4 a gallon. Anybody in the European Union would feel privileged to see those prices, which are almost half what we're paying in most European countries.
Now, a food shortage, there's many parts at play here. I'm wondering if you could tell us what can be done to avoid a shortage.
It's very difficult. It's complicated, but the only way to alleviate a food shortage crisis coming from an invasion of one of the top producers like Ukraine is obviously to diversify as much as possible into other possible suppliers.
Daniel, Lekaya, Chief Economist at hedge fund Trices, thank you for coming on.
Thank you very much.